In this second part of my conversation with trainer and retreat leader Chris Kirchoff, we shift from the external adventure to the internal one, the winding, often invisible journey of living with chronic pain. Chris opens up about her own experience navigating injury, exercise addiction, and the emotional toll that long-term pain can take, not just on the body, but on identity and purpose. We talk about the importance of empathy, power of community and healing, and how nature, movement, and mindfulness can become part of a personalized, holistic healing strategy. If you've ever felt like your body betrayed you or struggled to slow down when life throws a curveball your way, this episode is an invitation to rethink what healing really looks like. Welcome to The Mindful Trainer, the podcast that takes you inside the minds of athletes, coaches, guides, and trainers who have overcome challenges to reach their goals. I'm your host, Melanie Webb, and I'm joined for the second time today by someone who truly inspires me to keep innovating and growing. She's a certified personal trainer and small group fitness instructor who knows intimately what it feels like to live with chronic pain. Joining me today from Seattle, Washington, welcome, Chris Kirchoff.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Your first time on the podcast, we talked about your incredible outdoor fitness adventures. But today we're going to take a more personal track, and we're going to talk about your life and perspectives living with chronic pain the last few years.
Chronic pain. That's a fun one.
Here's a fun topic that I think a lot of people can relate to, including myself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thanks for coming on and being vulnerable, because I think these stories are really important to share.
Yes.
I think it's really easy for people like us who are so active for it to look like everything's good on our side, that we personally don't experience these kind of things.
Absolutely.
I think what I've found is actually the opposite, that many of us are in this field, number one, because we are such kinesthetic beings and we experience the world through our bodies, which means that we actually encounter injury and pain a lot more than people would think.
And there's a lot of, I think so too. And I mean, it's also hard to be vulnerable when you're the teacher or you're in charge or you're the coach or you're the business owner. To be frank, there's a lot of exercise addiction. And I would say that's partly why I've had some injuries. If I really want to be honest, I'm actually working with a coach right now, and she's a functional patterns coach, but she'll just say right to your face, like, okay, you have an addiction. That was one of the first things she said to me. You kind of know that. You're like, okay. And then it's like there's a fine line between it's a healthy thing to do to be taking care of your body and doing all these things. But when you're not listening to your body and you're just going to push through it, things happen,
I'm so glad you brought that up. And I feel like we could really go deep into
we could
that.
go
Hours about exercise
but,
addiction, and those of us who've experienced that now, what we're dealing with because we spent a couple decades in that mindset.
And just like, let's just, grind it out. And I need to look this way. I'm a trainer and these things, and it's like, so it's been a learning experience.
What you shared with me is that in 2018, you started experiencing Achilles tendinopathy.
Yes, I had Achilles tendinopathy from running, and a ton, did marathons and, Ironman and triathlon and lots of running and, to regulate myself, to be honest. But I was teaching people running and I loved it, but my gait was a little bit off and I experienced tendinopathy, during that time. So, and then after that, I had a surgery that kind of went wrong, I decided to do this 10X surgery. I was referred to by two doctors, surgeons. I had two opinions and they said, try this 10X. That was in 2022. I had the surgery and I was 52 years old at the time. And I couldn't even find research that it worked for people my age, and especially female. I was concerned about it, and it didn't work. Generally, the research that they do on most any, as you probably know, are young men. I didn't know that. I thought, well, the doctor said, you have to study these things yourself. You have to really deep dive and find some people that have had the experience, talk to all different people before you make these kind of decisions. But anyway, it didn't go well. I knew right away because the scar tissue built up, and my tendons aren't young anymore without estrogen, and all testosterone and progesterone, it's different, right? So in 2023, I started doing functional patterns. And even at that time, and that was just a couple years ago, I still wanted to try to run and, get on the Peloton and do hard hit training. It just wouldn't, over and over, just not good.
I'm really sorry. I
Yeah.
think for anyone that experience is devastating, for someone whose life depends on their ability to move,
Yes.
whose livelihood depends on that, that's so difficult. I know for me, when I've had those kind of debilitating injuries, it's become an existential crisis level thing that I'm dealing with.
I mean, it was just like absolutely trying to find a therapist. I have an acupuncturist, massage, reflexologist, all these different things to work through. The surgery was kind of a big decision for me. I thought this is going to help me. And the thing is, after all this time, it's a lesson. It really is. It's a very important lesson and a gift, actually. I mean, it's taken me this many years to realize, to understand pain is really important in my work. At this point in my life, people are all over, and you know that because now I'm in pain. So you realize there are people that are suffering, and there's ways to work with it and ways to make it not so painful. And I'm learning those things each day. So that it's actually been a gift, and there's been things that have come from it. So, but it's taken time. That initial kind of shock, like, what? I can't move. I'm a trainer. How am I going to do this?
This can't happen to me.
And
I'm not having this.
I'm not having this. And it's like, yes, you are.
It sounds like you submitted, right? It finally takes you to your knees and you're left with no choice other than to submit that this is the reality now.
Yes. You let go of all that. You just let go of all of it. And you say that this is what's happening right now. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Then you can make other choices.
Yes. Because you have to do that first. That's the first step, is going, okay, this has happened. This is what's happening. I am in this place. And
and this sucks bad. And here we go. And
here we go.
Something you've said really resonates with me, that you actually felt the importance of understanding what it feels like to be in pain.
It really is. It's important. I remember my first clients when I was like 30, they were going through menopause, and I was like, I really don't know what that is. I got to research it. So I'm reading it and I'm just trying to understand what it would be like to not be able to sleep. But you don't know until you have the experience, right? You can have empathy and compassion, but you don't know until you go through it, Yeah,
so, you really don't. And what I've always found with my clients is their ability to nurture me through my hard things is incredible.
I know.
That causes me to realize it's not a one-way street. I am not the only teacher here.
I know. And that's a big one for me, because you're right. For years I was like, I'm just gonna, I'm not try not to limp. And it's like, no, you got just put on your tough face and people know what's going on with you. You have to, your clients, you got to tell them. So
you got to tell them. I think they want to know. They care about us too.
Yeah. Two-way street.
It's a two-way street. And going back to our first episode together, and you talked about building community. I feel like that's community when we can nurture each other, when we can empathize with another's pain. And unfortunately, it's hard to do when you haven't experienced pain yourself. Like you said, I relate a lot to you as a young trainer.
You're just like,
didn't
what?
get it.
Yeah.
Well, just go ahead and run a couple more miles.
Yeah. Shake it off. It's like, and I mean, as we age, we see other things. We see Parkinson's clients and cancer and things that people are dealing with.
Like the emotional side of dealing with an injury is almost harder than the physical part. You'll get your team, you'll get your people, your physical therapists and your body workers. You'll have the discipline to do your home program every day. But then on this back end, the emotional roller coaster of pain and how pain can chip away at you is really difficult.
That emotional part is really interesting. Having some empathy or compassion for yourself is a big first step. Obviously submitting and saying, okay, this is the situation I'm in. But then for the first time going, wow, I have to honor the fact that this is happening and know that it's okay. It's a human condition. And whether I did it to myself or not, it's like, this is the situation. And to be able to have that compassion for yourself. And that's been a big part of my meditation practice, to help me through. It's called metta. I'm sure you know what that is, but metta is the compassion, and working through that helps the others of it.
And self-compassion can be so difficult.
It's hard
For all of us, and especially I think those of us who, again, drive hard and just want to move through pain instead of sitting with pain. So metta, as I learned metta, it was a sitting practice.
Yes.
Is that how you practice it as well?
Yes, a sitting practice. And I've done several retreats where you're just sitting and you're not exercising and moving. And one of my coaches, like I told you, Trisha, who's really helped me through this, is Chris, you need to sit with your anxiety. Just sit with it. It's just like a friend. It's like another person. You got to sit with it instead of running through it or, doing something else. But you guys sit with it and get into your body a little bit more. Your mind will create stories, lots of stories. You could go on. And that's why some people do have a hard time with meditation. But if you can get into the body a little bit, whether it's somatics or going outside in nature or art or however you get out of your left brain, it helps with that. And I think that's helped me the most, is just not focusing, okay, I have pain. Because it's in your body and you're like, how do I not focus on the pain in my leg? When I get up and I walk on it, it hurts. Start thinking about that. But 99% of my body is working. It's so crazy.
How about that 99% that's still showing up for me every day, and the parts that do feel good?
Yeah. So rewiring and the society, and the way we grow up and our ancestry, all those things. And then you rewire that. And that's what I'm trying to do, and just sit with it.
And as you've been sitting with that pain, it's led you to a pretty remarkable innovation.
Yes. So this is the crazy thing. And I think these things, it's like when I saw your article for the adventure travel, it's similar to that, but it's like you deal with this. And then one of my good friends, who's a massage therapist, a very renowned massage therapist in Seattle. And then she came to me, she had chronic migraines, and I used to train her. That's how we met. So I was training her on body mechanics for massage, and we ended up being good friends. And then we ended up trading clients, which was awesome. We have similar clients. And so when we have pain in the past, she would, you got to try these Chinese pain patches, and, they put it on your back, and
I've used those.
And I'm like, no, you need to try the cold laser. And it's it's for animals, really. I'm not recommending it, but it's a laser, there are all kinds of these stem cell patches, just all these things that we always try to, because we're going to use them for our clients. Let's test them on each other. And then if it works, we can say, hey, this worked for me, and so it's really been fun. But she said, hey, why don't we, we're in so much pain, why don't we get our other friend, Rhea, who's an incredible acupuncturist, Rhea born in Seattle, to help us create an herbal remedy for pain. Because Rhea is both of our acupuncturists, but she's known for, she'll do all the needles, but then she's like, okay, here's this, herbs that you should mix and take it for your digestion, or take it for this or pain or that. And these two people are the coolest people. They're wonderful. They're just, a lot like you, love nature and love adventure, and, are different kinds of thinkers and believe in wellness as, as a whole thing. And so we ended up talking and deciding, well, let's try, so Rhea did the raw pills. They're basically herbal pills, and she created this formula, and we tried them, and we thought, something's happening here, something in our bodies. You have to test it for weeks. It's not the same as taking an Advil. So that's, it's not like, oh, the pain's gone right as I take it, but you have to test it out for a little bit, and it works with the blood and all that stuff. So she tried it, but then we decided we're going to go and really manufacture these. So this last June, we got our first shipment of this herbal medicine. Now we're doing the research and development. We're saying, is this something that will work on all different kinds of people? We've all three tried it. We've tested it on closest clients and family. And now we're in this stage where we're testing it with different populations.
I'm always tinkering with things. If you tell me something's going to be good for me, I will try it. Especially if you're my acupuncturist. I can relate very much to that story of my acupuncturist, Lynn Bin, sending me home with the patches that smelled up my whole bag. these herbs. I'd be like, what's in the herb? Oh, I
Yeah.
just take the herb, right?
Just
And here's a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Okay,
yes.
I'm going to do it, Lynn. You say this will balance my hormones and I'll sleep better. Okay, I'll try
Yeah.
this.
It works. Did it work for you?
It did work for me. I trust it. And I'm a
Yes.
big believer in plant medicine, actually. And there's
Cool.
so much research coming out about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, all the medicine is all based on plants. I mean, even the medicine that we take, indigenous people all over the world, they're using plant medicine. And Rhea is also, doctor of acupuncture, and she's amazing. And this common formula, it's called a hit pill, and that they used to use like 2,000 years ago to put warriors back on the battlefield is how and then it was martial artists. And so she's like, we're going to add some of these things together, but we're going to add some other things that I think that might help. And we kind of discussed it, and I've been using it, and it's helping me.
Is it really?
It really is. But I'm also doing other things. So all of us believe in education. And so putting together a products, hopefully someday, and a website that kind of says it's not just about one thing that you're going to take, but other things too will help you create an environment in your body that will help you heal.
Rather than just putting all of your faith and trust into a pill, it's like it's creating an entire ecosystem around that.
Absolutely.
I imagine the movement and nurturing and self-compassion, and then let the plant energy do its work.
Yes, the plant energy. It's the different ingredients. Some of them are very common, frankincense and boswellia. People know the turmeric.
Anti-inflammatory properties.
Anti-inflammatory properties, and like reishi mushroom and the peony and clematis, all these different roots together, they increase the mobility in the blood and the fluids. So basically there are places in your body in Chinese medicine, if there's a problem, if there's an injury, then that area is stuck, the blood, it might be stuck, or and so to kind of get the nutrient content, nourish the blood, basically it helps do that. Plants circulate the blood, help the muscles and joints. It's having it work with your own body to create healing.
This is so exciting.
I'm really excited. At first I was like, when I told my wife, she was like, what are you doing? Like, what's this? And I'm like, well, I believe in this. I mean, I believe in Rhea and I believe in Joy. They are just amazing human beings and have helped so many people with their own healing. And then we're all three have different chronic pain. And of course, Rhea's like, well, let's solve the problem. And it's like, absolutely. And Joy too. It was Joy's idea. Like, I'm dealing with this and I want you two on my team. And so I was like, okay, I can sell it. This is not my area, but if it works, if it's going to work in me, I think I can sell it. I mean, I definitely can,
Yeah, you're in a position to share that you've tried this thing and that you're seeing results, and that you're working with these two other highly educated professionals. When do you think you'll be through the R&D phase?
Well, we have people trying it now, and then we plan on possibly, if we need to, reformulating it. And I would say by the fall, like maybe October. We're working now on our brand, and we're calling the pills right now I Feel Fantastic. And
it's so, if I may, it's almost so Asian in that, like, it's the I Feel Fantastic pill. I really like that, actually.
Right? Yes, I feel fantastic. So we just named it that, and I don't know if that will be its name, but we're working with branding, and that's a big deal. And you've done that with your stuff too. It's like working with a professional. What is your market? How do you want to be in this huge,
highly competitive market?
Yes.
There's always going to be a space for new and always a personalized touch, especially when you're talking about healing, right? Here are you three women healers working with other people all the time. This is what you do. Why should you not create your own formula?
Yeah. And to know that your body, and I feel like this as a trainer, like, it's your body. It's not me telling you what to do with your body. It's your body. You can heal yourself. You can train yourself. You can learn. You can do this yourself for your body. And I think it's getting people to take responsibility instead of saying, hey, well, the doctor told me to do, like my surgery, the doctor told me to do 10X and I did it, and whatever. But it's like, I should know how to take care of my body, and I can know that. And I think if I learn these things, it's partly that philosophy that your body can heal. if you put the right things in and you get your mind and spirit and everything in alignment, work on that, work toward it, you can heal.
I believe that as well. I know I've seen it. Yeah, the body knows how to heal when you give it the right support.
Yeah. And you've had
endless
some major
injuries.
things.
The
Yeah.
list goes on.
But you've healed.
I've healed a lot. I
Yes.
have. I feel every day a huge, tremendous sense of gratitude and awe at what my body knows how to do. And my family tends to live a long time. And I've had so many
You're like,
injuries.
wait, I got 50 more years.
I've got 50 more years to go. It was probably about 10 years ago that I started to recognize those addictive exercise patterns in myself. And I recognized that I had one speed and it was go, go, go.
Yeah.
And that I better learn a new speed if I wanted my next chapter to be more enjoyable.
Wow. Yeah, that's big.
So I started getting more serious about meditation. I learned how to meditate when I was a young volleyball player, and I would dip my toe in and things, but it wasn't something I made a regular practice. And
do you do yoga too? Are you a yoga person?
I'm not a huge yoga person.
Yeah, neither am I. Yeah.
I tend to get a little snobby about it. I tend to really enjoy it outside of America.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah. I think probably the institutionalized structure of it might turn me off a little bit.
Yeah,
but I mean, as a discipline, I have a great deal of respect for it, but it's not something I really gravitate to. But I like things more like Tai Chi and Qigong.
Yes.
Qigong is
Me
one of my
too.
favorites.
I love it. It's so wonderful.
I know now how to harness the energy in my own body and flow with that.
Yes.
And that feels good. And I realized I know some magic happens in the gym and occasionally when I'm able to go there with a client that something else is happening, but I didn't have any tools for it.
Or now?
Occasionally I have, like if a client comes in pain or just in which, that happens all the time. I threw away pre-programmed workouts a long time ago because I was constantly having to pivot anyway.
Yeah.
And just starting to trust my own intuition with people's bodies a little more.
Yeah.
And so it's been, I'm just starting to dabble with it. I'm so new in it. And I'm not sure where this will lead me, but in talking to you about what you're creating, especially with this acupuncturist and the Chinese medicine and what you were talking about, the blood being stuck. And also you could look at that as the energy being stuck. The energy,
right? So it's stuck. Yeah, that's what Ray always says. It's the energy.
And how can you create more movement through that area? And not in terms of going out and running a marathon, right?
No.
Can you imagine if we'd learned how to work with our energy as young people? That anxiety that you are now learning to sit with. Or for me, I'm sure it was anxiety or trauma or anything else, like things that we try to run through, just recognizing the energy of that and knowing how to work with that, I think could have saved people like you and I a lot of painful experiences and injuries. But this is where we get to embrace the other side of the healer archetype, right? Is through the learnings.
Yes, absolutely.
And I guess it is for our second chapter. Yeah. So I see it as just a thrilling, exciting chapter for you coming up, and I'm really intrigued. And
thank
this
you.
podcast
You too.
should drop long before October, but I'll be sure to keep track of you and we'll update it and let the listeners know that I feel fantastic.
I feel fantastic. Yes. Yeah. It's coming.
Good luck with that marketing phase. That's almost the harder part.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what counsel would you give for our listeners suffering with chronic pain?
To sit with it. I think suffering comes from not just the actual pain, but what you say to yourself about your pain, So it's like the second arrow, it's like, you beat yourself up maybe, or I know I did. And I think it's sometimes being very compassionate towards yourself and learning a way to do that is the first. It helps you change the story around it too. Like it's not, you have to acknowledge that you have the pain and it's upsetting and you have to feel your emotions, but then you have to move forward, I think, and not just have that story that I'm a victim of this pain. I think it has to change for, people to move forward in this case, in this kind of injury, and there's a lot of help out there. There's Reiki, there's acupuncture, there's people out there that want to help and that have experienced this too. So
thank you for sharing that. I know that's hard-won wisdom.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. Like I said, you're a kindred spirit out there in the world, and
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of encouragement knowing that you're doing your work, and to be able to connect in this format is really meaningful for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. It's so cool that you're doing this too. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good to-
Just strengthening the bonds of my own community.
Yes.
So
Very
it's
nice.
fun. Thank you again, Chris. Please tell us again how people can connect with you.
Well, email is probably the best, ckirchoff@gmail.com, or my website is kirchhoffitness.com. And the pills, you can actually buy them now, but it's on brilliantmedicine.com. Rhea's website in Seattle. It's an acupuncture website. If you do want to try them, or you can reach out to me and I can send some to you or whatever. So yeah.
Great. And we'll put all of that in the show notes so you don't have to remember it for later.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Chris. Until next time.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining me for this intimate and honest episode of The Mindful Trainer. Chris reminds us that healing isn't always about pushing through. Oftentimes, it's about slowing down and tuning in. If this conversation resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone navigating their own healing journey. To learn more about Chris's work and the tools she uses to support herself and her clients, from herbal medicine to mindfulness, check out the show notes and head to webwell.com. That's WEBBWELL.com to explore our resources for optimizing your performance, from our online video library to 21 days challenges. Until next time, remember, sometimes slowing down is the most powerful move of all.